5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How's it going, everyone? This is Frank Cavone, and we are live from the office. Thank you again for tuning into Live from the Office episode 3. As all of you know, you can listen to From the Office, Kind of Living podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can watch it live on YouTube, and you can even see it on Facebook when we premiere it every single week. I'm here with my main man, Steve Mink. How you doing, dude?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. For those who don't know Steve played bass in a couple of bands that we'll be talking about. Avid music lover and just a good friend. We haven't really actually had a time to just sit down and talk.
No.
I'm either seeing you at a show, at your wedding, and we'll get all into that. But first, you were a bassist of a couple bands. Fill everybody in with what you played.
All right.
And who you played with.
How far back am I taking it though?
Let's take it all the way back from the beginning.
So I first started playing bass when I was 15. I think I was in my first band, and used to have my dad drive us to shows. My dad would be our road guy. So we'd like pack in his Astro van and take us to shows. So I didn't have a license. So
yeah.
Started there, and that was a band called Human Pudding. There was a pretty interesting suit there that was like a Rage Against Machine style, like rock
really?
and roll.
A little bit heavier.
Because back then, I was into that, hard rock, Slipknot.
Cool.
System of a Down. That was my thing.
Yeah. New metal era.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, high school.
Great music.
High school time, Limp Bizkit, Korn, all that, rock, metal, hip hop type of deal. But so that was kind of just a starter band in the garage, a couple shows here and there. But
nice.
Then we moved on. I was in a band called Enlightened Rage, which was also similar. It was like more of a classic rock feel though.
Okay.
That was kind of short lived. That was like senior year of high school.
Now, what were you playing? What were you guys playing in that group right there? Just originals, covers?
Both, yeah.
Both,
yeah.
Okay. Did you have any go-to covers for that specific group?
Rockin' the Free World.
Really? Hey, who doesn't like some Neil Young?
Yeah. So that was the big one. It's just funny looking back. That it was like we used to play that song. It's hilarious.
That must have got the crowd pumped, though.
Yeah. It's just back then. I think it was more parents and like family coming to shows. And
were you playing out publicly at this point?
Yeah, not too often, but we did play a few shows. We did Valentine's back
really?
in the day.
Upstairs or downstairs?
I think, where was it? I think it might have been upstairs.
Nice.
But yeah, so from there I was in a band called The Garden Variety, which was more of like pop, hip hop, alternative rock.
Okay.
With like a little bit of electronic flavor from me. I kind of brought like the dance party to it.
Yeah.
So that was good. That lasted about 3 years, and that was with members from like New York City, Long Island. So like we were traveling back and forth a lot doing that.
Now, how were you guys connected? Through going to school, or?
So some of them were school. They found me on Craigslist.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, and I went and did like an interview. Did a whole interview with them, and they hired me. It was like a whole band where like they were going for looks and everything else, and it was weird. I just did it. It was fun. I met some cool people that I still talk to, that I still play guitar with. He plays guitar. I released a song with him,
Cool.
John Noonan. He's a really good guitar player, really good producer. So me and him can really bust stuff out, like very unique stuff, because he's more of like a southern rock guy, but he's an incredible guitar player.
Okay. So at this point, just not to switch things up, but were you already into jam bands?
No.
Jam bands did not become part of your life just yet. So what was it that...
Towards the end of the Garden Variety is when like I was really getting into jam bands more. I started...
So what made you break the ice with just this psychedelic experimental music that all of us love?
So I have a bunch of friends that work up at Pepper Jack's back in the day, and I guess they used to just always listen to Disco Biscuits. So my best friend Steve, he was just like, "Hey man, check this out," and so I listened to him. I first didn't really like him, and the first time I saw him was at Rothbury.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the first one. Yeah, it was the first one. I saw him at both. I went to both Rothburys, and but before that, my first experience that made me into jam music was more of hearing them talk about it, and then my buddy saying there's this band STS9 and we should go to Bonnaroo. So my first festival experience was Bonnaroo.
Wow.
We drove 5 people deep in a Honda Accord. We actually had to dump a bunch of stuff because we didn't have any room. There was 5 of us in a Honda, so like no chairs, no coolers, or maybe just one cooler. We had to ditch everything else, so we just had our tents, you know, pillow, sleeping bag, clothes, and we just hightailed it down there, 5 deep in the Honda.
Now that's a pretty big festival experience for your first time. What was it like getting to the grounds, camping in a different situation than, you know, going to your campground and kicking your shoes up for the weekend? You're going there to rage.
And that was definitely a party, and it was definitely something. You don't feel it until you actually get there, and you're like, wow, this thing is huge. Where you're like in a huge line for hours. You show up there and you're like, this is nuts, and it was super hot. It was like 110 degrees, Dust Bowl,
Oh my
100,000 people, and you know that was wild, man.
Now, who was the headliner that year?
That was the Police and
Wow.
The Police and Tool.
Jesus, those are both bucket list bands
so
right there.
Yeah, and when I saw STS9 that night, one of those nights, I was like, what is this carnival music going on? And I was waiting in line to get in the grounds, and got in, and we just danced. Like, we couldn't stop dancing. We were walking and just dancing to it, and that's kind of where I started that with electronic jam bands.
So now, with that being said, a lot of people who do break ground in listening to this music that is quite different. A lot of people listen to Grateful Dead. A lot of people listen to Phish for the first time. But Jamtronica is a whole nother subgenre of the music itself. And what about it? After you got into it and you were like, okay, I actually like this. What was it? What were the things that you liked most about it?
I think it just triggers me to dance. It makes me want to dance, and it like just sets off like sparks in my brain that just make me happy and just want to dance and have a good time. It just puts you in a mood. But Phish was my first jam band, though. I saw Phish when I was 11.
Oh, no way!
In Albany in 1997. Yeah.
Did you have family that liked
I went
it too?
with my brother, my older brother.
Way. So there
him.
is some roots in the Mink family that okay.
So
wow.
me, him, and my dad went, and I was scared shitless.
Really?
I was like this the whole time. I was like, because then they oversold shows, and there was like no security, so it was all smoked out. Weird smell to me, back then at age 11.
Yeah.
Coming from a family that like nobody smokes or anything, so. I'm just like, what is that smell? Why is there people like falling down the stairs, and like it's a whole cloud in this place? Nothing like it is today.
Have you gone and listened back to that show?
Yeah, it was one of like his epic show.
It was an epic show. Okay.
Very epic show, because that was '97, like their
peak years. Yeah.
So that was my experience. I think that might have made me turn at some point, give me a little taste, and then it kind of went away. I saw that show. That was great, and I didn't really listen to jam bands still for a while. And then when I went to Bonnaroo, it definitely sparked it up, and that started that whole jam band scene for me.
Nice. And now, kind of jumping in back to the discussion we were having about you playing bass in bands, something that I first got introduced to who you were in as far as in a band, and it was Lord Electro.
Yep.
You guys, I never had the chance to see Lord Electro, but for those who maybe don't know about you guys, is there still an album on Spotify or?
Yeah, all of our music's still online.
Okay.
All like the shows, we released a lot of shows online too, so those are all in like Archive and Bandcamp, and then also on Spotify and all that, all our album stuff. We have a live album or two up there as well.
Awesome.
And then before that was Digital Dharma, which
Oh,
came
yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
the Garden Variety was Digital Dharma. That kind of got started. We were taking a break, and then I found on Craigslist a drummer and a keyboard player looking to play Disco Biscuit-esque stuff, Disco Biscuit STS9 stuff. And I was like, yeah.
That's pretty niche.
So
Nice.
that's where I fell in there, and they were both UAlbany students.
Oh, cool.
So we got there, started there. We went through a lot. We were banned for 3 years. We're doing really good around Albany. Me and the keyboard player fell off a balcony back up in the college ghetto, which was a very bad accident, and he was paralyzed from it.
Oh, wow.
And I cracked my sternum and cracked my head open. So we went through some shit, and we still remain friends. He's down in New York City. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So in Lord Electro, was there? Was it a collaborative group? Was there somebody doing the singing, the songwriting? Was there somebody, doing the back end producing? Like, how'd you guys operate and function as a band? Because, when you're, you would know better than anybody else. But not starting a group, but continuing for those long years.
Right.
Show after show after show after
Yep.
show. Hungry to play more. Wanting to reach certain milestones for your own personal self. What was it like as far as like functioning as a band together?
Well, we all kind of had input when it came to writing the songs. We'd show up, be like, I came up with this, or we'd just start with a jam, like practicing, start with a jam, and be like, oh, that sounds great, let's use that. And we recorded pretty much everything. So most practices were recorded. Every show was recorded, so we would have a jam during a show, and we would take that jam and create a song out of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's a lot of jam bands do. They listen back sometimes and hear those and kind of bring them to life down the road, because that's a lot of, it's a lot of music that came out of nowhere. That idea could just be gone right after. If you have that recorded, you can listen back and be like, oh, that part that I remember playing was great. Let's find it and let's turn it into something.
So it's about finding that spark, really, of
Yeah.
like, okay, let's capitalize on what we just did in this
Yeah.
situation and bring it into something.
Yeah.
Now, on the opposite, when you're playing live, are you leaving spaces in between songs? Within songs that maybe, all right, we don't have necessarily a structured jam here, but we know that at this point there's going to be some magical improvisation going on.
We didn't really mark it down like set lists or anything.
Yeah.
It was more of like, let's go into a jam right now type of deal, just like signaling type of just go.
Okay.
Sometimes we wouldn't, most of the time I don't think we would really even do set lists. We would just go up there with no set list and just kind of talk to each other on stage, and just say, well, let's do this, or go into a different key, and then one of us will start hearing somebody play certain something, and then we can bring in a song that that will fit.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now another question I have is, in Lord Electro, where, being from Albany, there's a lot of great venues around here, but I'm sure you guys must have done a lot of traveling. Where were some of the farthest places you've been, and maybe some of your favorite venues that you got to play along the way that you necessarily maybe haven't even been there before?
Right. Yeah. We went down Virginia, I think was pretty south that we went.
Wow.
We didn't go too far west. We stayed more on like Western New York style, and then more East Coast, and then down, Massachusetts down to Virginia, essentially like Philadelphia, Baltimore. We did play the 8x10, which is like a historical venue.
Oh, okay.
A lot of bands played that growing up, so that was cool. That's actually a really great venue. That was awesome. We played with our friends Tweed there.
Tweed, those guys kick major butt.
So they're really close friends of mine from a long time ago, Digital Dharma days, and we all started. The band started together. Tweed and Digital Dharma kind of started at the same time. So we both came up together, and I'm still friends with those dudes. Like,
It's got to make it just even a little bit better to have some buddies on the road that you may know, or do you take that into account when you're planning a tour?
Yeah, you're trying to play with your friends, and then you say, we'll bring me there, we'll bring you to Albany, and like trade shows.
Nice.
With the jam scene, it's so tight knit too. You just know everybody now. Like
Yeah.
me being in all these 2 or 3 bands in the jam scene for a while, that I have so many friends down the coast and like out west, and it really helps me get around and like if I want to get a show somewhere, if I want to see something, talk to somebody, I have those connections to talk to people, and it's great.
Now with that, I mean, going some people when they go on tour to see a band, they're not even, because of how involved they are with the music and everything that's going on, even with the partying, they don't get a chance to go and explore a city. Is that something you try to do when you're going, out of town, like, and you're going to see the Biscuits? Are you doing other stuff around the area,
Right.
or is it just I'm going to the show?
We definitely like to, if we can, sightsee and go out to eat to a place, find like the cool spot in town to eat.
Yeah.
Like that's always like top thing to do. We always got to find like a really good spot. Like in Syracuse, we just went to see the Biscuits in Syracuse this past weekend, and you had to hit Funkin' Waffles.
Of course, you gotta go.
Gotta
you got a
Funkin'
favorite
Waffles.
waffle that you get at Funkin' Waffles, or
There is no favorite.
there is
man.
no favorite? Okay.
When we played Funkin' Waffles, I think most of the money just went to the Funkin' Waffles, like because we would get like 50% off being artists, and we're just like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. We would just sit there all night. If we're not playing, we're in there eating. The Jive Turkey is always bomb. That's like
It's the turkey one.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner. But their chicken though is just ridiculous. With their hot syrup, oof, they got like a spicy hot syrup,
Yep.
and it's so magical. We got a 5-piece, and I was very upset that we didn't get a 10-piece chicken the other day.
Okay.
We got a Jive Turkey and a 5-piece. We should have had a 10-piece.
Yeah.
I needed it after. I was like, I want more.
That's funny. No, I mean, I honestly, anytime I've been there, I'm guilty for doing this, but I'm not that risque where I'm going to have my chicken and waffles with syrup on it. I still have yet to get it through my mind, but I always end up having the chicken on the side.
Yeah, you need to. The syrup is just, I asked for extra, and then I just didn't have enough chicken to eat it.
Okay.
Like, I could have drank it. I should have really just brought it home. But
Definitely.
Funkin' Waffles, I want that recipe.
Yes,
Give me the
please
recipe,
share. Or at
please.
least bottle up the stuff too.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Maybe Guy Fieri knows it.
I bet. Has he done?
Yeah, he's done and he's got the Sophistifunk. Is that the band? Sophistifunk?
Sophistifunk, yeah.
They have the Guys Grocery Games theme song. It's their song.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So-
Do they have any connection together, or is it just?
I think maybe they met through probably their food. They probably came to check it out on dive-ins,
Yeah.
and that's how they probably met. And they're probably like, yeah, we got this band probably. I don't know. Tell us the story.
Yeah, please.
Let us know.
Now, okay, so you're going out, you're playing these shows, you're hitting markets like Virginia, Syracuse. Now, how is it for yourself to have to balance at this point in your life a career and your dream?
Yep. So we kept it we did more weekends and tried to keep it to weekends. So we wouldn't do full tours or anything. We would make it, sometimes we would do like 3-day.
Okay.
Like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and kind of just hit it in a couple days and then come back Sunday and go to work. And then the occasional, city show on a weekday we would do and drive down to the city, come back. But we all had jobs, so, right now these days you kind of need a job. You need some sort of income.
Definitely. I mean, with everything going on,
especially
just
now-
having a job
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you gotta be grateful for it.
Yeah, definitely grateful for a job. It's
Especially now with just, you're just buying a house, you just got married, you have different obligations than maybe you did when you're out touring and playing, and so was there a division or a decision, decision that you had to make, or the band had to make, where it's like, okay, we gotta make some changes, or putting a stop to playing together? What was the reason why you guys aren't playing actively?
We were just trying to go in different directions. And
Yeah.
Just that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Different things going on, and just different minds. So we just decided, we're gonna put it aside and focus on different things. Really.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. I've been doing the band thing now since, like I said, 15. So that's a very long time. It's
15.
Almost 20 years now.
Holy cow.
Going on. So it's not, it's not 20 years, but
yeah.
I'm 34 now, so.
And it's not just going to the gig. It's the multiple practices.
Late nights driving is getting harder to.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Would you guys switch off who's driving the van, or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Nobody was stuck with the one person always driving, or.
No.
That's good. At least you guys have that dynamic where you can just be like, all right, it's time to take over here.
Yeah, we all got to drive, so.
That's all right, man.
So then I started the DJ thing, and I can just worry about myself, and play when I want, or not, and just do it for fun.
So tell me about that, because I've seen you out in Thatcher Park, down in the Empire State Plaza.
Yep.
What makes you want to go out and play?
So I just picked up some DJ stuff before COVID began, so it was like the perfect time. And I still wanted to perform. I've been a performer always. I've been in movies and in TV shows, so I've just always had that performance in my blood.
Yeah.
And I have friends that are DJs as well, and I could just still continue playing music that I like. That's pretty much what I want to do. I just want to continue playing music that I like, even if I'm not playing bass.
Right.
I can still just DJ it and, have a good time, try to get other people to have a good time to the music that I play. So I've just been running around different locations and just trying to get, my first idea was just try to get locations around the plaza, because I found that would be a cool thing to do, and just try to capture different angles.
Yeah.
And I saw one of my buddies who was playing guitar in different areas. My buddy Steve, he's down in New Jersey. He would just play guitar in different spots, and we were in this group called Busking Down the House, which is just not 24-hour streaming, but it's all people live streaming.
Yeah. From
all over the world. And my friends created that, so they asked me, Steve, you should do this. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. I'm a novice still DJ. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll still do it. I'll make mistakes.
You're learning while you're doing it.
I'm having a good time. People are enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm getting good feedback. So.
Now, would you when everything gets back to normal, get your street performer license and play just for fun out, in Saratoga on the strip for a day, or has that ever crossed your mind, or?
No, I think I would just start playing shows if I can.
Just start playing shows.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Just start playing shows. I can continue doing these streams as well. There's definitely more angles I want to get in the plaza.
And the great thing about the plaza is that you could literally point that camera in every which direction, and there's probably like 20 plus spots you can do it.
So I think I've done 3 or 4 streams there now.
Oh,
and,
nice.
There's still more angles I want to get.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually met some DJs that were doing the same thing at the plaza one night.
No way.
Shout out to Jungle Punk.
Jungle Punk.
So his buddy just came down. He's like, yo, you like house music? Because he just saw me DJing down in the bottom down there. And he's like, we're up here playing if you want. So I was like, all right, I'll stop up there in a little while. And so I finished what I was doing and then packed up my stuff and ran up there. And they were up at the museum, straight bumping, PA and all. Where I just go directly into my phone, so I'm not having any music output. So I'm silent. Unless I bring a little speaker, and sometimes I'll do it and I'll set it up so people can hear what I'm actually doing. But other than that, it's just a little tiny speaker. These guys were bumping, huge PA, going off. Dude was breakdancing, DJing lights, and I was like, wow, this is legit.
That's freaking cool.
So, we've been talking and I hope we can start setting something up in the future. You know, even just like guerrilla style gigs. We have a couple ideas we've been kicking around. Just setting up for people that like house music, which is a very small niche around Albany. Not many people like house music. Everybody, you know, the dubstep was huge for a while, and that, you know, that got kind of expelled from Albany.
For what reasons?
It wasn't all the EDM kids. It was all, you know, the Armory when the
oh my god,
the Armory
stuff your face with bass.
All the Armory stuff kind of shut it down, and a lot of it wasn't even the electronic shows. A lot of it was the rap shows, with issues going on, with violence going on outside or after, inside.
Yeah.
Other than that, really, the EDM shows weren't having any issues. I've seen some big bands there, some big DJs there. Like one of Bass Nectar's most epic shows was at the Armory.
No way.
And
didn't Pretty Lights go there too?
Pretty Lights.
Okay.
You know, a lot of those big producers. Avicii was there. I saw Avicii a
Wow,
long
rest
time
in peace.
ago. Deadmau5.
So that was kind of like
Moscow. Like I've seen a lot of people there.
Now would you say the Armory was the place to go and see electronic music here in Albany?
For a big venue in Albany, for sure.
It's a shame because it really is so nice and spacious, and you know, in situations where you're going and seeing the show, sometimes you're seated. You know, nothing wrong with being seated even at the Palace, one of the most beautiful places. But you know, that freedom to just walk around, dance, and not be restricted to one spot. I mean, I never really got to see any shows that I necessarily was a fan of. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of electronic music, but I just wasn't at that age yet where it's like Mo did their Halloween
I was about to say
show.
Mo did there. Yep.
And but just to switch things up, we have some people commenting in. We got Catherine. Sounds like Brandon Schultz wants to make a call in. So let's give Brandon a call here.
We got Brandon here. Where are you at, buddy? Where are you?
I haven't seen Brandon since the first time I met him at Disc Jam 2019.
Yeah, that's where we all hanging out. That was a great time.
That was a great time.
I still have your T-shirt.
Yes, I was trying to find the picture I took of you with it. We got Brandon here.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Brandon? How you doing, man? Long time no talk.
I know, right? I'm doing great, guys. I worked all day. We had it was supposed to be a post-election dinner at my mom's house, but that's still ongoing, as we all know. But we had that.
Oh, where did Brandon go? What did you do?
Oh, we lost him for a quick second. Brandon is an avid music fan, along with Catherine.
We're gonna get him back on the line here.
We are gonna get him back on the line. He, hands down, one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Are you hanging up on us,
I'm
boy?
sorry. Hello.
How you doing? Long time no talk.
I know, right? So I'm just just relaxing. I don't know when I got cut off that, but yeah, everything's great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Just you know, for just chit chatting about you a little bit, not too much gossip, but yeah. So now I gotta ask Brandon, how did you and Steve get to know each other?
Well, Steve doesn't remember the first time we met, actually.
I
won
know.
tickets to go see Keller Williams at the barn, Levon Helm's barn. And I parked next to him, just said hi to him, I think. But I got thin of faces. And then we met again, I think it was Saltash.
Yeah, Saltash.
Yeah, we hung out there. And it's been downhill since there. I mean, uphill since there.
It's been beautiful.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Steve, did you get a cat?
I got a cat. I'm picking him up on Saturday.
Oh man, those things are hairy. That's gonna be a fun cat.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hairy. Be
I
super.
deal with a red-headed cat all the time. It's very.
Yeah, you do.
So Brandon, how's everything hanging down by at Omegang and just down in the Catskill area?
Been good. We are still open. We did slow down a lot with the whole COVID thing. We didn't keg a beer for months, but we are open for business. Limited capacity. Masks fully required. There's no tastings and no tours because of COVID, but and we haven't had any concerts this year. So that's kind of been a big bummer. Kind of killed the vibe a little bit, but we're all still thankfully employed and making beer. Check out our neon rainbows. There's a plug. We just made our double neon rainbows the other day. That's
Yummy.
Very strong New England IPA.
Some of my favorites from y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good for sipping on the beach, right, Steve?
It is delicious, man. Thank you. Omegang beers, y'all. You have to drink them.
Yes.
Pretty good. It keeps me employed as well.
Now, what's your role, Brandon, at Omegang?
I'm a manufacturing technician. I basically make everything run from a brew kettle to the packaging line. I fix things. I do a lot of electrical, hydraulic, I machine, weld, kind of jack of all trades, if you will. Working as a motorcycle mechanic didn't pay the bills. I did touring for a while as a professional race mechanic, and it was great. We raced in the biggest stadiums in the country, but something about being home in this area in New York, it's kind of sucked me away from it. And working on machines in factories is cool. Working at breweries on machines is even cooler.
So I got to ask, have you ever thought about, as a side gig, taking up comedy?
Not yet. I was a class clown growing up. And, I blame my mom for my mouth. So
You got to learn it from somewhere, right?
yeah, she's pretty good. She's loud. She's all 5'2", full of piss and vinegar. Italian Greek lady. She cooks like mad, and she is also sometimes mad.
Sounds delightful.
She's a pisser.
So today, now that we have you on the phone, it just brings up a topic that I wanted to talk about. When you go out to music festivals, like a Bonnaroo, like a smaller music festival, you don't know who your neighbor's going to be unless you're caravanning in with a bunch of other homies. And the year we met you, Doug and I met you, we did not know what to expect. We just went on our own, and we were just like, all right. And we lucked out, and we're neighbors with you and Catherine. Got to really know Steve, and I think Chris Meyer might have stopped by the tent.
Oh yeah.
But
Definitely.
but yeah, it was just a nonstop, just laughing our asses off. A couple of jokes went over my head, but one that will always stick to me is how to make a dead baby float.
You put it on top of root beer and ice cream.
Put it on top of root beer and ice cream.
Oh boy.
Yeah, most of my jokes are pretty bad. But it takes one to know one. I'm glad that I got stuck next to you guys. It could have been a whole lot worse.
I hope we weren't too rowdy.
For all of us, I feel like it was definitely a great weekend. And that was my first festival, I think, in my Woody, in the old van that we brought.
And you guys had it down pretty well. You had everything you would ever need plus more.
I went to my first festival at 15, I think I was. I went to Modown with my sister. So now I'm 33, I'll be 34 in a month. And I guess you learn a couple things,
Now, just another question for both you and Steve. Going to a music festival and not knowing who your neighbors are going to be, have you ever had any bad experiences?
What about sexy time, really? I hear the random sexy time, and that is bad.
Oh my
Especially
God.
if you don't know what your neighbor looks like, and then you hear them doing it for hours on and off, and then they get out of the tent, and you're like, God damn, that's what that was in there?
Yeah, one time I was at a festival and somebody was bringing me back to the RV, and they opened the door. It was a lot of sexy times, a lot of people in it. It was pretty wild, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Like, I was not in a right frame of mind anyway. I was like, I can't believe I just saw what I did. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm like, this is a good time to exit. It's actually me and Jeremy from Space Carnival were walking around late night. It was one of my interesting festival stories.
Yeah, that's always interesting. But you also meet really great people. Like
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I would have never got to know you, Brandon, and just even though, we haven't really talked since. I always see what you're doing online, and just putting up with those Oneonta College kids who are spreading the disease, unfortunately.
Those COVID
Haven't
spreaders.
been to Oneonta in a while. I actually went to Oneonta to get COVID tested the other day.
And then you came back with COVID when you weren't?
Right, exactly.
They gave you
Actually,
COVID
it's
when you
serious,
instead.
But I suggest if anybody questions it, and if they've ever been around somebody, go get yourself tested. Don't be an idiot. Take 2 seconds.
Yep.
And be smart about it. You know, there's a lot of loved ones around that we want to keep around. So
For sure. For sure.
Now, before we let you go, Brandon, do you have any recommendations, music, or even just movie, TV streaming that has been getting you through this
yes,
horrible patch of time?
I do. Well, first off, Biscuits this past weekend was phenomenal. That's always great to have.
Do you guys go together? Or?
Nah, I wish I got to see him, but I didn't get to see him, and I was really sad.
Actually, we only went for one night. We were supposed to go Halloween night, but the next day I had a massage. And I had what was it called? I don't know. I got a massage, ashiatsu with the feet. They walk on your back.
Oh.
That was phenomenal after a night of Biscuits. That was exactly what I needed. But before that, honestly, to get through this, I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, but the Red Bull TV app. I suggest everybody download it. It's got great skate, great surf, great snow, moto, great music. It actually has a whole lifestyle channel where it's got breakdancing, and it's a free app, and there's no politics, there's no nothing. It's just a lifestyle, and it's a great thing to listen to.
Yep, I do watch that myself.
Nice.
You can just put it on in the background. It's got great soundtracks to a lot of like the skate videos and stuff, and you can just beat bop around the house and clean and have something in the background. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, it was great talking to you, man, and I hope we can catch up, sometime after all this is done, or even run into each other at a drive-in.
Definitely. You guys, it was great talking to you. Thanks so much for calling me. I called you, or I don't know how it all worked back out, but it's been great, and hopefully I get to see you guys soon.
Thanks, buddy.
It was good talking to you.
Say hi to Dougie and say hi to Anna for me.
You got it.
Later.
Later, bud.
Catch you later.
Much love. Peace.
Brandon Shull's great guy. Go visit him for some beers at Omegang Brewery. I'm surprised. I've never had Omegang. How is it?
Dude, it's delicious. It's he came out to my bachelor party and brought a lot of goodies.
Wow.
He's a very great guy. Super great dude. And then he came to the wedding after party and brought more beers,
awesome.
and he brought the IPAs, which we like, and he loaded us up. He brought freaking racks of them. He's a great dude, very giving. He's a very loving individual as well, and I'm happy that we actually connected as well, because that's what the music does. You have such a small community with the jam bands.
Yeah.
That you just start to know everybody, and you get to know each other, and it's great going to shows and seeing people, going to this Biscuits tour over this past month. The drive-in tour. You get to see your friends that you haven't seen in a while, and even though you're not seeing their whole self, you're seeing their eyes at least, and playing it safe. And everybody was pretty safe out there, which was great. And we're trying to get back to shows, and that drive-in experience is great, really.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. The Biscuits, they're really just doing in recent months their first drive-in shows. What was it like going to one? Did you have to use your car as a PA? Was there a PA on board at the stage?
So some of the shows were PA and some were by your car. So the ones by where you were the PA, people bought tons of speakers or powered PA systems that they brought and hooked to batteries or battery powered ones. I brought a nice monster boombox that bumps pretty loud, and it was still really loud with everybody's playing it. So it sounded like there was still a PA, but there really wasn't. And it was fine.
Sick.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a good time. You have your little radius around your car, and they have it split off, and playing it really safe. Some venues were more strict than others, where they're like, you need to get back to your car. I was walking by, I just wanted to get a shot in front of the stage, just walking by, and the lady's like, you gotta get back to your car. I was like, I'm just walking.
Yeah.
Like I was literally walking with my phone, not stopped like this, just walking. And she's like, "Get back to your car." I was like, "I'm going back to my car."
Now, is the band approaching their sets differently than they would if they were playing a lengthy tour?
No, I think they're just getting right back into it.
Just
really.
right back, okay.
Yeah, it's like they didn't really take a break. They're back to crushing it pretty much right away. It's great to see that, and I know they're happy that they're back too. I talk to them quite often.
The guys in the band?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't think, I think they're just really happy to be back as well, and I'm happy for them.
So, was there certain venues that were doing it better than others? Was there a standout drive-in or even pod style situation that you liked the most, or is it more based upon what the set list was that night?
Yeah, set list always determines how great the night's going to be. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So I only went to one series of shows when it was just the PA in your car, making yourself the PA.
Okay.
That was out in Cape Cod. Then the rest, I just went to Halloween in Syracuse, which there was a PA, and they actually had speakers set up at the halfway point. So,
oh, wow.
So everybody was pretty loud, and they had screens, big jumbotrons out there, so you can see the band from all over the place. So they made it so you can actually still experience it, and you're pretty much still there, right up in front, but you're looking at a screen. But it's nice having space and not getting your feet stepped on, not getting a beer spilt on you. You know what I mean? Because you're just in your little corral, and you can have up to 8 people, and some of them are 6, some of them are 8.
Oh, that's still good.
Yeah.
You got your whole just Rage team right there.
Yeah. So we had some friends that were up towards the front, so we went there and hung out with them in Cape Cod, because they only had them pretty much, the 3 of them. So
Yeah.
just Anna and I, and we just joined them, and practiced dancing safely.
That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. Now, I got a question just because I am so on the out of Disco Biscuits. Where does the term "sorry if you don't" come from?
It's part of a song. It's in a song.
Oh, it's in a song.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's really just people, just taking that song and making it a thing. A thing that the Biscuits kind of represent. Sorry if you don't like the Disco Biscuits, but
Oh, okay.
we do.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now,
The whole thing is we like to party. Sorry if you don't.
that's the line.
Yeah.
What song is it from?
What is it? What is it? I'm drawing a blank right now too. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, we can come back
we like
to
to
it.
Party.
We like to party. Okay. Now, what does it mean on a set list? And I've only seen it on a Disco Biscuit set list, but inverted.
It's exactly what it is.
So if I were to hear it, I don't know if Minions is the song that opens up 11/23/2018 in Albany, but I saw Minions inverted, and then I've been
Right.
looking for this song on Spotify. I have no idea to find
Right.
it, and it's I didn't hear it the right
Yeah.
way first or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much starting from the back and making their way towards the beginning of the song.
Wow. Okay.
So you could take it from a jam, heavy jam kind of at the peak of the song, which would be towards the end normally, and you just take it and you bring it back, and it's kind of scaling it back down to
Wow.
the beginning.
That's got to take some
Yeah,
planning.
They got great minds. It's wild what they can do and what they can just kind of pull off.
Now, what makes them? I mean, there is no better. But what makes them that much different from other jam bands?
I think the level that they can bring you, Fish was great. I love Fish. I love the New Deal, Sound Tribe, but the Biscuits kind of give me a peak where I'm just wow, that's amazing. Where a lot of these, Fish doesn't really do that for me as much anymore. Because Fish kind of peaks really quick and kind of just start something else. They just go from the middle of a jam and they'll just go into another song. Where the Disco Biscuits kind of mold it as they go, so they can just be peaking in a song and kind of somebody else brings in another key and it kind of brings them to another, another track.
Now, what's the number you're at now for the amount of Disco Biscuits shows you've seen?
I'm closing in on 100.
Closing in on 100. Oh, congratulations! Yeah. That is a big feat. I mean, a lot of people think, like, even if you see a band 20 times, like, why would you see them 20 times? Or it's just like that the level of musicianship that these artists share. It's incredible. I mean, between their fans, between themselves. Making you hungry to see a different show each night. I mean, is there like one show that will always go back to and listen to?
I don't even know if it's listen, but just like an epic show that I just think is amazing was New Year's. I don't know what year it was, but it was in New York City, and they did a full improv set behind Tron. Behind the movie Tron, they had a screen pop come down, and then they were playing Tron movie, and they played like the soundtrack, but not really the soundtrack. They just played a score to it. They made their own score to Tron, and it was just all full improv.
Now, this took place at PlayStation Theater? Or?
Yeah. Okay. Back in the day, and that was absolutely insane.
Did you see the movie before? Or
no,
you never have.
So
okay.
I think it was. I don't know if it was. No, yeah, I think it was the original. It was the original, and it was just mind blowing because like you can kind of still see him behind the screen, and you still got the light shooting through.
Yeah.
But that was just wild, unbelievable.
Now you bringing up the lights. I mean, other than recently Twiddle started bringing in lasers, but do they have the same lighting guy every night? Disco Biscuits?
Yeah, for the most part. They do have two that kind of switch off, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they got rid of the lasers.
No more lasers.
No more lasers.
Wow. Did you like them or?
Yeah, I love lasers. Yeah, but it's more of a safety issue for Mark, the bass player.
Oh right.
So.
And I didn't read into it, but I know that what was exactly. What problems was he having with his eye?
I think it was like a retinal detachment, or there's something going on. And eye issues are very scary. He was actually supposed to play our wedding. He was supposed to DJ our wedding.
I remember you telling me that. Right.
He was going to DJ our wedding, and then like the day before is when he had an emergency that he had to back out. So that sent me, scrambling to figure out what we were going to do.
Yeah.
I started hitting up tons of people. I hit up. So all the rest of the Disco Biscuits were down to do a set. So, Magner was going to do like a piano set. He does like a solo piano synth set. And then Alan does his solo drums. And then Barber was going to do his own thing as well, like acoustic guitar. But I was trying to have a party. So I kind of wanted something more upbeat. And I talked to Luke from Lotus. He was down to do it. He was out in Colorado. He was going to do it as well. Then we ended up talking to Orchard Lounge and got Orchard Lounge for it.
That's still awesome. Somebody was able to come save the day.
Yeah.
And I know, I can't imagine, having to go through all that stress, especially when it's getting closer to the date of one of the biggest days of your life, if not the biggest day. And it seemed like you guys pulled it off in fashion. I adored the wedding. I was just like, you guys had the biscuits playing throughout the whole thing and kept it nice and small, and the venue was beautiful too. Yeah. The courtyard.
You helped it go smoothly. So
I was just there watching.
You were a big part. You definitely helped us out and allowed everybody else to see it, and we appreciate that for sure.
Anytime you guys ever need anything, I'm always around. I was just happy that it worked out where I was able to be there for you guys, and congratulations again. That's awesome. And did you guys? I never really asked, but did you guys meet at a show or?
So we had mutual friends that, they were trying to hook us up, and so our first kind of hangout was down at the Hollow for Jim Cotta.
Cool.
So you did dinner and a movie, like a double date kind of thing, and hit up Jim Cotta, and then that pretty much went from there. After Jim Cotta, there was like a fish show in Syracuse happening.
Okay.
So we went to a Fish Show, and then I never came back home. I just moved in with her pretty much right after that, and
Wow.
yeah.
And Anna is based out of the area too, or?
She's originally from Broadalbin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not too far.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then she moved out, be closer to this area. Yeah. So then we just knew, mutual friends that were all into the jam scene as well. That small knit community, and just that's how it went.
That's hard to find, somebody who wants to go to something so abstract and has the same love and hunger to want to go see a show.
Oh yeah.
No matter how tired you are.
No, yeah, she's all about it. She loves, especially Disco Biscuits. It's great that we have the same favorite bands.
Yeah.
Same favorite music, pretty much across the board. So, you could just play whatever you want, and usually the other is going to be good with it. Because she loves Fish, she loves the Disco Biscuits, and the hip, even down to like the hip hop that we like the same, like the old school hip hop. We like all
So
the
good, yeah.
Beastie Boys and stuff like that. We just all love the same stuff, and I think that really helped us kind of come together. And she's like, "Oh, we gotta go to the Disco Biscuits."
So
Disco Biscuits are here, there. We gotta go.
Yeah.
So, and I'm down with that. So
now, I gotta ask, how'd you propose?
Disco Biscuits. So,
Really? What should I guess?
So we were out at Red Rocks. We were out at Red Rocks for Disco Inferno a couple years ago, and I just took her on a hike out at the Rocks, and we just went on a hike one day, and I set up a little camera for a selfie picture because I wanted to get a picture of us, just selfie on the cliff hang, with a nice backdrop. And so I set it up, and instead of doing a picture, I set it up as video and just did it there.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Nice. And now, you guys have just purchased a house. Do you feel a whole new set of responsibility with not renting? I gotta ask.
So it's both. It's responsibility, and it's kind of a relief. You don't have to worry about the landlord and giving somebody else your money. So
yeah.
Now we're paying for our own property, and so that's definitely great. It definitely, with a landlord, they'll fix your things. Now we're gonna have to fix our own things, but it's really good you're independent now, and you're doing adult things, and it's the next step. So
you're calling your shots completely all the way through. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, and it's through COVID. We did everything through COVID. We got so much done during COVID that I don't know how we did it, and we just still powered through, even though we had so many issues with every single thing in 2020.
Yeah.
We still made it through and just powered through. Now we're getting a cat.
There you go.
Getting a cat on Saturday. So
nice. Have you seen the cat yet? Or
yeah.
You have. You got a name prepared?
We don't know yet. Well, she does. She's got an idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do yet until we meet him. We got to meet him first, and then we'll see what happens. So.
Definitely. Now, I totally forgot to ask, but what was one of your favorite shows you've ever played with Lord Electro?
One of my favorite shows. So it's hard to say because festival shows are always really fun.
Yeah.
But then we also played with the New Deal. So that's kind of like the epic proportion.
Is that a Putnam place or?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's always cool to play with guys that you look up to.
Definitely.
And also guys that we just still talk to. I talk to Kurtz, here and there, and good people. They're really nice people. They have their podcast that they're rolling with.
Oh, do they really?
Dan and Jamie show.
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Cool.
So that was a good show. Pretty memorable show. It's hard to say though. Like we did the Biscuits after party, of course, in Albany when they came.
Right. Yeah.
So we did that.
Didn't one of were you opening up for a side project or did one of the members?
It was the Jedi side project that had Brownie and Magner in the band as well.
Nice.
And Jedi's like a floating band. They have other people go in there at times. And that night, because they were in the area, Magner and Brownie both played the show. So that was cool. we get to support them, and
Nice.
that's it's playing with friends still. So
First time
I
meeting
consider
them.
them a friend, so that's fine.
And that's gotta connect on a whole different level than just the music and the just, I guess, what sometimes can be just this wall that, I don't know. I feel like if I were to meet like Trey or somebody, I don't know if I'd freak out or whatever, but I
Right.
mean, it's got to be cool to at least love the music and be cool with the guys too.
Yeah, like first name basis type deal.
Really?
Hey, Steve.
Okay.
Hug.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really cool, because I've played with them for years now. Because I played with them with Digital Dharma back when they were doing Conspirator.
Right.
So
Conspirator.
Like yeah, so I played
Who's
with
that? Chris Machete in that group,
Chris
right?
Machete, yup, and then Magner and Brownie, and then they had a couple different drummers come in there. I think when we played, it was Torch, and he's like a really good drum and bass drummer, and like trap. He actually has his own book out.
Oh, wow.
His drumming book. So any drummers that want to learn that, hit him up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Now, let me just see. I'm just going to check my list because I didn't even look at anything we talked about. I feel like we hit everything. Where can people find music that you've played in the past, and where can people keep up to date with you where where you're doing your on-site just DJing?
So all my bands pretty much dating back to the Garden Variety. There's going to be something online, mostly YouTube. Digital Dharma has a Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
And then also YouTube. Lord Electro is throughout the board with all the social media outlets because they became more prevalent as time went on there.
Yeah.
So we were using all media outlets. And then SM Inc. is kind of new. So right now I just have the Instagram and the well, actually just got a Twitch. I haven't done anything yet though, but I should be kind of digging into that soon.
Definitely.
With the house now, I have a big loft space that's ready to get finished.
Cool.
It just needs flooring. And then I'll have my own studio upstairs in place for streams. So I'll get some nice streams going there. And I can start producing and recording again. So I'll start releasing stuff on there.
Awesome, man. I'm definitely excited. Please keep me filled in with what you're doing, and any way we can help promote you guys and yourself, just let me know. And I know we've been trying to get this episode put together for a while now, but I'm happy that it's finally come together and we got to chat, man.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
As all you guys know, you can, again, listen to the Kind of Living podcast and From the Office on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. It's going to premiere tomorrow on Facebook, or if you're listening right now on Facebook, you're watching it right now. But this is From the Office. I'm here with my man, Steve Mink. Please go check out his stuff, Lord Electro, all the SM _ Inc.
Yep.
on Instagram. And we will see you guys again soon. Thank you again. This is episode 3. And just keep on living.
Later.